Stephen Hawkins with the AP. Erin, I'm just going to talk to you about your overall game a little bit. Obviously, a lot of rebounds, a lot of assists, a lot of points, and the matchup that you've got in this game with somebody very similar, that Brittany Boyd, who's got a lot of the same numbers. Talk about that a little bit.
I haven't really thought about it in comparison with me and her. But you're exactly right. She's a very good rebounding guard as well. I think a lot of that for me just comes off of me doing my job. A lot of teams we play have big girls who we do something called face box. So people don't even see the ball when they're boxing out. So that's where my numbers come from. I'm not sure about hers. But it's going to be a tough matchup, and it's going to be fun.
For both players, I know neither one of you were part of the team that won 0 games not too long ago, but what does it mean to be part of a program that from not too long ago was 0-29 to now first time in 20 years in the NCAA tournament?
It just means a lot to be part of the historical run that we've put together and really building our program up from obviously winning 0 wins 6 years ago. And, even to have come in as a freshman and not really think that I would be able to win an A-10 championship and be playing in an NCAA tournament game, and here we are sitting here today. That's just something that's really exciting for all of us, and something that's exciting for the Fordham community and, the program as a whole.
Yeah, I think it's just nice to be able to put a school on a map, to say it. It's a great school, and people, I think, look at it more as an academic school, and to be part of the team that can put it out there in the sporting world and get people to recognize it, it's pretty special.
You guys all put student in the term student athlete for sure, but talk about, really the last thing I got for you is defensively. You guys only allow 41 points a game in the tournament. You all have a great defense. Just talk about how much emphasis and just how you can win a game playing defense like you do.
I think it starts with our coaching staff. They put a lot of time and effort into figuring out how we're going to defend a team, and they have great plans, and we have to go out there and execute it. And I think there's credit to the girls all playing as a team. When we're playing defense and we're trying to shut down one girl, usually one person can't do it. Everyone else has to be there and helps our defense to back them up. So I think it's just a great team effort.
Yeah, I think it's just a big thing being detail-oriented and learning from what coach tells us is our game plan, and then having whoever's on the court execute it and just stay together on defense. And shots aren't going to fall, but we know we can be consistent playing defense and getting stops, and that's what's really kept us in games all year.
Stephanie, just talk about, I know you weren't there, but just this program, it says a lot about what's been done in this program to go from 0-29 to an A-10 championship and an NCAA tournament.
I was involved with the job back at that time, but I'm a mom of 3 boys, and at that point the timing wasn't in the best interest of taking the job. And so when it came around 3 years ago, a lot of my colleagues called me crazy, because I was at Monmouth where Erin was with me, and we were on the heels of probably pursuing, championships. We had lost in the championship with all sophomores starting. So the next 2 years we were going to be pretty good. And so when Fordham called and I came up to visit, I was always, obviously, had the great deal of respect for the Atlantic 10 Conference. I think it's, the premier basketball conference. And so for me, that was a major draw, as well as when I went up and visited the people at Fordham. I just felt, that I was walking into a situation where people genuinely cared about taking the program to another level. Because if you're not committed to going to another level, then, you're going to beat your head against the wall. So when I met with Father McShane, he was tired of not being relevant. Every time he walked into the A-10 meetings, we were always at the bottom. And he asked me, he said, when do you think that we could, basically be somebody that people will respect? And I said, well, year 3, I think we can gain respect. Never in my wildest dreams would it happen so quickly in year 2, but a lot of times people ask me, like, why do your teams win? Because I just, I really enjoy taking programs and turning the corner with them. And I really think it starts with just, treating the kids the right way, being a good person, and I think getting the kids to want to play for you. It's not really a magical offense or defense. It's really how you treat people. And when I took the job over, the first meeting I had with the kids were like, kind of like in shock, because they're like, how important is family to you? I said, well, my faith and family is everything. That's who I am. And then like, well, can you eat dessert on the road? I'm like, I love dessert. So of course dessert will be part of who we are. And just the little things of just getting them to believe in the foundation of what we wanted to do and having the commitment from the university, and then obviously, I'd be foolish not to say that you have to have players. Bringing Erin in, bringing Mara Strickland in last year, who was a top 5 player in the country when she came out of high school, and Samantha Clark, who was a top 100 player coming out of high school. That obviously helped us turn the corner.
Can you talk a little bit about the matchup of Erin and Brittany? Obviously, very similar numbers, but play the game a little bit differently as well.
It's interesting watching them because, Lindsay's done a terrific job, with the Cal program, and they're extremely athletic. But we just played a Dayton team in the Atlantic 10 championship, with size-wise was very similar. Pretty athletic guards, not as experienced and maybe not as savvy as Brittany is. I think, Erin is very disciplined. I think she's more of a disciplined guard. I think, Brittany is she can really create her own shot and does a terrific job of getting other people's shots as well. But they, in so many ways, what they both do for their teams are very, very similar.
It was interesting talking to Lindsay in here earlier, her connection to Fordham and how close she was. And I think any other year she'd be pulling for you greatly to go for it. Just talk about what you know of Lindsay, and obviously she got that team to the Final Four last year. I know where you'd like to get this team eventually.
Well, it's funny, when you watch coaches, and I said to the kids, I'm a big intangible person. I don't think it's necessarily, I think, half the game is chemistry, and I've known Lindsay since she's been a young coach, when she was assistant at Richmond, and then she was an assistant at Cal, and then she took UC Santa Barbara. I can just tell she's a player's coach. I can tell that, you can just get a feel that she genuinely cares about those in the program. I think that has a lot to do with her success, because we're just in a different generation now, and I think a big part of having success on the court is, if you look at a Bobby Knight and you look at a Krzyzewski, I remember going to their last 2-man clinic, and we're going way back when I was an assistant, so we're going back 30 years. I was just really enamored by the fact that 2 completely different philosophies. Bobby Knight went in and it was really like a very point-the-finger approach, and Krzyzewski went in, and Coach Krzyzewski at the end of the hour knew every kid on the court's name in that clinic. 2 completely different approaches. Now we're in a different generation where you really have to be a listener as well. And I think that's what Lindsay does a terrific job of, and just knowing her from, being from the Northeast, and I'm the same way. If we weren't playing Cal, that'd be somebody I'd pull for, because I have a lot of respect for her.